Let me ask you something. You wake up every morning, get dressed, show up, work 8 hours, sometimes 9, sometimes 10, and at the end of every month, you get paid. You look at that number and think, okay, that's what my time is worth. But here's the question nobody asks. How much did your employer make from the same 8 hours you just gave them? Because I promise you, the number is not even close. And the gap between what you earned and what they made from you, that gap is the trap. The trap most people spend their entire careers inside of without ever realizing it. Today, I am going to show you exactly how your employer is getting rich off your time, your skills, and your silence. Welcome to Money Trap. Let's get into it. There is a concept in business called labor arbitrage. It sounds complicated. It isn't. Labor arbitrage is simply the gap between what a company pays you for your work and what they actually charge for that same work. Here's a simple example. A company hires a software developer for $80,000 a year. That works out to roughly $38 an hour. That same developer builds a product the company sells for $2 million a year. The company paid $38 an hour. They made $960 an hour from the same work. That gap, from $38 to $960, is labor arbitrage, and it is the foundational business model of almost every corporation on Earth. Now, before you think this only applies to tech companies, it doesn't. The retail worker, paid $15 an hour, generates on average $150 to $200 in revenue per hour for their employer. The teacher, paid $40,000 a year, produces a product, educated students, that justifies a school's entire operating budget. The salesperson earning a $50,000 salary closes $500,000 in deals every year. In every case, the math is the same. You produce significantly more value than you are paid for. The company keeps the difference. That difference is called profit, and it is built entirely on the gap between your output and your paycheck. This is not illegal. This is not even unethical. But it is something you were never supposed to clearly understand. But here's the part most people get wrong. When employees start to feel underpaid, companies have a very specific tool they use to close that conversation. Benefits, health insurance, pension contributions, paid time off, free coffee, gym memberships, flexible working. These things feel like compensation. They feel like your employer is taking care of you, and they are designed to feel exactly that way. But here is what benefits actually are. They are the minimum investment required to keep you showing up. A company that offers you health insurance worth $5,000 a year is not being generous. They are calculating that losing you and hiring and training a replacement would cost them $15,000 to $20,000. Every single benefit your employer offers has been calculated. It costs them less than losing you costs them. And while you are focused on the health insurance, they're focused on the labor arbitrage. The benefits are not a bonus. They are a retention strategy dressed up as generosity.
Here is another layer of the trap that runs even deeper. Every skill you develop on the job, every system you learn, every relationship you build, every process you master becomes more valuable over time. But who captures that value? Not you. Your employer does. Think about it. You join a company as a junior employee. You learn, you grow, you become more efficient. You bring in more revenue. And then you get a 3% raise. Meanwhile, the company's stock price went up 40% because of the productivity improvements driven by employees exactly like you. Your skills appreciated. The company captured that appreciation. You got 3%. This is called skill capture, and it is one of the most invisible forms of wealth extraction in the modern economy. The company owns the platform. They own the clients. They own the processes. You provide the skill that makes all of it work. And when you leave, you take your skill but leave behind everything it built. Quick pause. If this is making you see your job differently, subscribe to The Money Trap. Every week, we break down the financial systems and psychological traps that keep people working harder and building less. Subscribe now, and let's keep going. Now let's talk about salaries specifically, because this is where it gets personal. Your salary is not calculated based on your value. It is calculated based on the minimum amount required to keep you from leaving. That is it. That is the entire formula. HR departments use salary benchmarking tools to find out what the average person in your role earns in your market. Then they offer you somewhere in that range. Not because that range reflects your value, but because that range reflects what the market has accepted as normal. Normal is not the same as fair. Normal is just what everyone agreed to stop questioning. And here is the part that makes it worse. Studies consistently show that employees who stay at the same company receive average salary increases of 3% per year. Employees who switch companies receive average salary increases of 10 to 20%. Your loyalty is being taxed. The longer you stay in a system that undervalues you without renegotiating, the more wealth you transfer from your future to your employer's bottom line. Loyalty to a company that is arbitraging your labor is not a virtue. It is a financial decision. And for most people, it is the wrong one. There is one more layer I need to show you. And this one is the most important. Time. Your employer pays you for your time. 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, 1,920 hours a year. But here is what most people never calculate. Your total working hours are not 1,920. Add the commute. Add the mental load you carry home. Add the emails you check on weekends. Add the recovery time, the exhaustion that makes your evenings unproductive. For most full-time employees, the true cost of employment in time is closer to 2,500 to 3,000 hours per year. Now divide your annual salary by 3,000. That is your real hourly rate, not the number on your offer letter. For someone earning $50,000 a year, the real hourly rate is not $24. It is closer to $16. And every hour you spend recovering from work is an hour you are not spending building something of your own. This is the deepest part of the trap. It is not just that your employer takes the financial value of your labor. They take the time you could have used to escape. The system is self-reinforcing. Work leaves you too tired to build. Being too tired to build keeps you dependent on work. Dependence on work keeps you inside the labor arbitrage machine. Round and round. Year after year.
Now, I want to be very clear about something. This video is not telling you to quit your job tomorrow. It is not anti-work. It is not a manifesto. Your job is a tool. And like every tool, it is only dangerous when you don't understand what it actually does. What I am telling you is this. The moment you understand that your employer's entire business model depends on the gap between your output and your paycheck, everything changes. You stop seeing your salary as what you're worth. You start seeing it as a negotiation floor. You stop feeling grateful for benefits. You start seeing them as retention investments. You stop measuring your career by your job title. You start measuring it by what you are building outside of it. Because the people who escape the labor arbitrage trap are not the ones who worked harder inside it. They are the ones who use the income from it to build assets outside of it. Your job is not your enemy, but it should never be your only plan. The wealthy figured that out a long time ago. Now you know it too. If this video changed how you see your paycheck, share it with someone still inside the trap. And drop in the comments, what percentage of your income are you currently using to build assets outside your job? That number will tell you exactly where you stand. Subscribe to The Money Trap. We go deeper every single week. This is not just content. This is the map out.